The groom's father stopped breathing for half a second. It was subtle. A micro-failure. The kind only men like him ever notice, men trained to read rooms where fortunes shift in silence. His eyes weren't on my face. They were on my wrists. The room kept moving around us. Crystal glasses chimed. Silk brushed silk. Someone laughed too loudly near the bar. My wife leaned in, lips curved with practiced cruelty. "Couldn't afford better?" she whispered, eyes scanning my suit like a customs officer hunting contraband. "You look modest." Her sister stood 10 feet away in white, glowing, adored. I said nothing. The groom's father stepped closer. His voice dropped. "Those cufflinks," he said, pale now. "They're custom Vanderbilt." A ripple moved through him, recognition curdled into alarm. "Who is he?" He asked no one, and somehow everyone heard. My wife's smile froze. Not shattered, just paused, like a screen buffering before the truth loads. I felt calm. That scared me more than anything. The mockery hadn't started today. It had been months of careful erosion. Jokes at dinners, casual remarks about my small contracts, the way she'd introduce me without my last name, like it embarrassed her. I let it happen, because I was watching something else. The late nights. The phone turned face down. The way she dressed differently for work events that never appeared on her calendar. Her sister's fiancé, now husband, had been too friendly once. Just once. A hand on her lower back. A look that lingered a beat too long. I filed it away. I always file things away. Betrayal doesn't arrive screaming. It whispers. It tests whether you're listening. I didn't confront her. I didn't accuse. I didn't ask questions I didn't already know the answers to. Instead, I shrank. I wore simpler suits. Drove the old car. Let her think she'd outgrown me. People reveal everything when they believe you're beneath them. She began to talk freely, carelessly. About men with vision. About real power. About how some people were born to be background noise. At night, she slept facing away from me. I stayed awake. Counting. I started with patterns. Phone records. Deleted messages, leave shadows, metadata never lies. Hotel receipts hidden in expense reports. A burner number that appeared only on Thursdays. The groom's best man. Old money. New appetites. I watched without being seen. Observed the way my wife changed when his name surfaced. The tightening of her jaw. The rehearsed indifference. Externally, I was calm. Agreeable. Invisible. Internally, I was precise. I cross-checked timelines. Pulled security footage from a parking garage she'd sworn she'd never visited. Ran background checks she'd never imagined I could access. The truth didn't rush me. It assembled itself, piece by piece, quietly, like a weapon being built in another room. I scheduled the wedding weekend months in advance. I insisted we attend. She didn't question it. Why would she? She thought she was winning. The cufflinks were my only indulgence. A test. A signal. I wore them knowing exactly who would notice. And who would break first. The DNA report arrived 3 days before the wedding. Not for a child. For legacy. The Vanderbilt Commission, I'd been overseeing an acquisition so discreet even my partners used codenames, was nearing completion. The groom's father was on the opposite side of the table. He thought he was buying silence. I was selling exposure. At the rehearsal dinner, I handed my wife my phone. "Can you hold this?" I asked, voice even. She glanced at the screen, paused. I watched her eyes read what she hoped wasn't there. Photos. Dates. Messages. A hotel keycard scan. A contract signature bearing my name attached to a valuation that made her swallow hard. She looked up at me like she was seeing a stranger for the first time. I smiled. Not kindly. The moment came at the reception. Music swelled. Applause erupted. Glasses raised. I stood when the groom's father approached the mic. He hesitated, looked at me again. At the cufflinks. Then he spoke careful, strained. There are partnerships, he said, that redefine families. My wife turned to me, panic finally cracking through her control. What did you do? She whispered. I leaned in. Nothing, I said. I let you be yourself. The deal collapsed before dessert. By midnight, her sister's wedding was being whispered about for all the wrong reasons. I left early. So did my wife. She cried in the car. Bargained. Promised truths she'd buried years ago. I drove. At home, I packed one bag, not mine. I placed it by the door. Left the report on the table. The contracts. The proof. She stood there, small now, uncertain. You planned this, she said. I nodded. Because the truth deserved timing. I walked past her, paused. You never outgrew me, I said. You just misunderstood who I was. I closed the door behind me. And for the first time in months, the silence felt earned.